Let's cut the crap. The biggest issue men are facing today. You see, we are told to keep quiet, not to speak up, to man up, be men. But then we're also told to provide, be the heroes, look after the family, look after the team, look after the nation. And who looks after them? Who look after the men? See, this is a question that left me disturbed, because I remember what it was like when I went through my stuff. And when I say my stuff, I call it, and I'm calling it what it is, depression. I wanted to be strong. And I was lied to. We need to stop lying to these people. You see, we were told that strength is pretending your emotions don't exist. But the last time I checked, strength stands for being able to handle things. So I don't think not acknowledging something is handling it. In fact, I think neglect is the opposite, or the other extreme of weakness, or acknowledging it too much. In both spectrums, you can't control it. You've got your anger, you've got your emotions, and they're caged inside the box. And you're scared to bring them out. So are you really strong? You see, in this video, I want to help men understand this one thing. Understand that bottling your emotions is just as bad as you acknowledging them and over-acknowledging them. But there's a balance, there's a way for us to navigate it. And that's exactly what I want to be debunking in this video. You see, I know I felt like I was doing everything right. I was providing, I was putting food on the table, people were being served, people were being provided for, but then I felt it. I was tired, right? And there was this mask that came over me that as long as this looked good, that looked good, and that looked good, well, there's no reason for me not to feel good. But that's the problem. I wasn't feeling anything. Nothing at all. Because in order for me to get to that space, I had gone through rigorous challenges that turned me numb. And I was like, why don't I feel anything? Why am I so cold? Why am I so blasé, like I don't care about anything? And that's what telling someone to man up is doing to that person. When the wife or the partner is asking him to show up emotionally, he can't do it. Because he's numb. He can't feel anything. And this came up when I was speaking to my dad. And my dad done this thing where he said, I asked him, Dad, how do you deal with stress? How do you deal with high pressure environments? How do you deal with difficult situations? How do you do it? And his answer was this. His answer was, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just a man. I do what needs to be done. I'm paraphrasing. But in other words, he said he just doesn't do it. And I know he thought he was being virtuous because that's what we've been taught. That's what he was taught. But there's a problem with that. And the problem is, you see, back then we could get away with lack of emotional intelligence. But as of recent, if you don't have emotional intelligence in this current market, then you are at a very heavy disadvantage. And the reason why I say that is because things have changed. The dynamics have changed. Because we're now looking at a partnership, a communication is so key. But it's not just key. It's a basic requirement. It goes deeper than that. Because communication breeds understanding. You can't communicate. Yeah, if I'm just talking to someone, yeah, that's fantastic, that's great. But if I want to understand someone, then I need to meet them where they're at. And I can't do that if I can't understand how I'm feeling. So this is how we cannot no longer apply what we've been taught. We need to find a different strategy. What is that different strategy? It simplifies. It needs to be simplified. Because the key here is just clarity. That's what it is. clarity in your decision, clarity in your emotions, clarity in how you carry yourself and how you communicate. That's what this is. It's the simplification of everything you're going through as a human being. Why is that such a crime? You see, the best example I give is this. I want you to imagine yourself as a tap of water. I know I'm getting there. Don't worry, you're gonna get some. So, if I switch it off, nothing comes out. And that's the nonchalant guy. He's numb. There's nothing coming out from it. He can't even, there's no drip, nothing. The person's thirsty. So imagine the other person is thirsty for it. So they're very thirsty, they want to drink. But we've got two extremes here. We've got the guy that has a tap and doesn't want to open it. Then we've got the other guy who's about to drown the person because of how much water he's got. So you see, both extremes don't work, because in one extreme we have the nonchalant guy, and then the other extreme we have the extremely emotional guy that's expecting the person to be their therapist, counselor, all in one, and still watch them and look at them as the man or the responsible person in that relationship. It doesn't work. Do you know what works? Transparency. And not just transparency, but calibrated transparency. And what I mean by that is you control the tap. You're in the middle. You're not too hot, you're not too cold. You're not too pressurized and you're not too invisible. It's balanced. You're giving them a cup of water. And that's because when you're sharing your conversation, you can do it in a calm way. You can do it in a way where your frame still stands strong, because you're being transparent, but you're not being vulnerable. Because you had your chance to be vulnerable. You allowed yourself to grieve. You allowed yourself to deal with your emotions. And now when you're sharing the things with someone, you're doing it in a way that allows the other person to digest it. It's not about the other person, but it is about you understanding how to deliver things. Because we need to stop lying to ourselves. How you deliver things matters. Because if it doesn't, then everyone will be happy to take it in. So this issue we're facing today as men is the fact that we are asking for clarity and it seems like a crime. One person is telling us to talk and then the other person is telling us not to talk. But how about it was never about neither? How about it was actually about learning how to say what needed to be said at the right time? How about it being about understanding how to be present emotionally for your child? You see, as much as I love the whole Stoic culture, and here's the thing, I do believe that for some reason we've misunderstood it. I 100% believe as a Stoic man you're able to handle your emotions. I 100% believe that the definition of a man being calm in the storm, which is pretty much the philosophy of Stoicism, stems from being able to handle your internal sides. Internal being, your internal space. You cannot have a war outside and then completely ignore the war within. That don't make sense to me. And I'm happy for anyone to challenge that belief. It doesn't make sense. Why would I be okay with having a war inside of me and then going out there to pretend everything's fine? Or going out there to fix the outside without fixing the inside first? So here's how you can start fixing it. Stop pretending to be strong. Now, you probably clicked on this video because you probably don't consider yourself strong, but you want to be. And you're in a good place, because the first thing you've got to do is stop pretending. You're doing a lot more damage than good by pretending to be strong, because when people are now asking you to step up, you can't do it because you don't know how to be strong. You see, transparency is a strength, but only if you learn how to hone it. Now, honing it will take practice. So there's some people that are not going to be happy or comfortable with your transparency, but there are others that will. But in the meantime, you're going to understand how to navigate accordingly so that you can thrive in this situation. You see, I've been there, and that's the only reason why I can tell you this. And I can honestly tell you too, the difference between me being numb or acknowledging my emotions too much to having a balanced perspective and being able to sort of step out the picture and just look at and focus on responding, it changed everything. That changed everything. So, if you've enjoyed this video, please drop in the comments what your thoughts are on this regards to this topic. I'd like to hear from you. But more than anything, if you're keen on working on the 12-week coaching program that I'm offering at the moment, which won't be for too long, definitely book a call. And I'll see how I can help you. Now, as always, I'm rooting for you. Let's build better relationships, one conversation at a time. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.